Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Some Dungeon Guy, and today I'm walking you through how to make simple but effective caverns using Inkarnate. Let's go! Well, hello there. Today I'm going to walk you through how to make a quick and dirty cavern in Inkarnate. If you need to have a cavern for your game, book, novel, whatever it may be, this is going to be able to at least get you a proof of concept to get you a simple version of a cavern. Now, you could spend a lot of time on a cavern, spend hours, but I'm going to show you how to do that in just a couple minutes, okay? We're going to go ahead and open up a new map. If you're not familiar with Inkarnate, I suggest checking out my videos down below in the description where I walk you through how to do all the basics, okay? So for now, we're going to choose just some basic things. We're going to choose the fantasy battle maps. We're going to choose the landscape. Again, if you're familiar with Inkarnate, you know how to use these things. All right, once we've got that map opened up, you can see we have our land here. Now, a couple of steps we're going to do just to start us off, we're going to go to the mask tool. Now, it has that selected by default. However, we're going to go ahead and fill all. Okay, that's going to make all of this map effectively land. Okay, so a raised section. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to change. I want to go ahead and change my textures just so I have it looking how I want it to look. You're going to use the brush tool, open up your catalog. First thing I'm going to do is choose my above ground texture. Okay, that's going to be your dirt, your grass, hills, your rocky mountains, whatever you may want it. We can expand on that later, but for now, we're going to choose this red ground. Okay, now this is going to be your above ground texture, so it can be anything you want. Like I said, this is what we're using. All right, as your above ground texture, I'm going to choose foreground. Okay, then I'm going to fill. What that's going to do is it's going to go ahead and fill the entire ground portion, which is the above ground portion. All right, I'm going to choose advanced settings though. That's your standard texture. If you take that size down, it's going to change the size of the actual texture. So when we fill it, it gives us a more fine pattern. Now that's going to make a little more sense in the future. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to choose our background color. Your background texture is going to be all of the stuff that is the actual core of the dungeon, cavern, whatever it is you may be making out. So we're going to go with stone wall and see how that looks. Choose the background layer, choose fill background, zoom out just a little so we can see where we're starting. We're going to go back to our mask tool, all right, using the star edgy shape. Okay, so that's going to give you some more natural, organic looking edges to your cavern. And then next we have to choose a starting point wherever we're going to start that cavern. I'm using that edge again so it looks more organic. You could certainly use the straight edge or the grid or whatever you'd like to use to make the shape that fits your needs. And then we have to choose where we're going to enter our cavern, okay? First, I'm going to enter from down here in the corner. We're going to choose the subtract on the mask tool. That's going to cut away this land. And when we do that, you immediately see that we now have what looks like a lowered section, right? Like a carved out section. I'm going to make a path through, and you know, it really depends on what kind of cavern you're looking to do. I'm going to make mine wind, a basic path through, and again, shape, you can make that anything you like. One thing I like to do with these caverns is once you make the initial section, you can go back in, make that brush a little bit bigger, carve yourself out some rooms, okay? Just like so. You know, because your adventuring party is going to want some rooms to explore. It's going to give you some places to stick some things. Then shrink that size down, and then we can make some cross patterns, right? Maybe this hooks up to this room as well. Maybe, you know, it runs off from anywhere. Now, these are nice for little detours because in case you need to have a place for some encounters, monsters can sit there. You can build a secondary room back here that maybe is a storage room or something like that, depending on what you're using the rooms for. But I do like to have those little cavernous parts, okay? So we're going to make a few rooms, and just like that, we already have what looks to be a cavern, right? Now, using that model, you then really take it and just fill it in with what you're looking for. Now I'm carving out these shapes a little bit. Let's say you wanted to put a tower or a column in the center of one of your cavern rooms. You go back and hit add, and just the same way, you know, draw a center piece. Now that could be, again, so hidey holes for enemies. It could be places that things can be stored. Maybe you want this to be a hidden room. Well, if you go inside and subtract a little bit of space, now all of a sudden you have a hidden room inside. You can mark it off with a doorway. You can mark it off with an X, whatever you'd like to mark it off with. But just that simple, we have a cavern. Well, here's how to make details of that really shine to make it look like a cavern. We're going to take our mask tool, okay? Go to advanced settings. Now, in these advanced settings are where we're going to get all of the lines that outline what we just drew. So, for example, our outer shadow, which is going to fill in on the gray section. You see that light gray area kind of all around the map. we're going to change that to I'm going to choose a more muddy looking color. Okay, more of a brown. So we change that to orange. Somewhere in the middle is going to be sort of a brown color. And you can see it's already starting to change inside the map. Okay. Now we're going to take that shadow blur up and down. You can see how it changes it a little bit. I like to keep mine probably about somewhere in the middle. The intensity is just going to make how bold it stands out. And then the distance, it'll kind of come out into the hallways and things. Okay. So we have it a little bit out. We have a little bit of shadow blur. Okay. And again, play with this, figure out what you'd like, but you can already sort of see these walls start to look a little more cavernous, right? If we change this down, boom, now you have shadows. And again, it's kind of depending on what you want. Play around with it and find that look. So we've done that. And now we already have basically cavern walls. So from here, the next best thing is to go ahead and go to your symbols, your assets, your stamp tool, and add furniture, add, treasure chest, whatever that may be. We'll do something super simple just so we have as a reference. Maybe I'll take this and stick a chest. I'm going to take my shadows off. I'm going to stick a chest maybe over here in the corner. We talked about this little secret room. What's inside that secret room? Is it a chest? Is it a magical place? Is it a lair for one of your big bad evil guys? Again, that's up to you. But decorating just a room or two, you can suddenly see how we have like storage rooms. Maybe this is a goblin hideout. Maybe mole people, lizard people, whatever it may be that you're trying to put inside of here. But just like that, you can go ahead and make those adjustments. We'll put a couple wrecked beds in here down below. Maybe this is where they slept. Could be any number of things. I'm just going to piece together a room real quick. And some more chests down here. And you can go back through and you can choose lighting. So for example, if I go look for a torch and choose the core pack torch. And the other thing was when you're going to be placing items, I go down to advanced settings and choose multiple. And that way it doesn't auto highlight any of those. So stick a torch here, stick a torch here, right? And so forth. And you can see how that instantly makes it look like you have some sort of room, even if it's like a hodgepodge sort of room. So just like that, you can make yourself an easy cavern. Again, this is especially useful if you plan to have multiple caverns. Maybe you're going to have multiple tunnels, you're going to have multiple sessions in it, or if you find yourself in a bind where you just have a few minutes and you need to make a cavern pretty quick. Well, are you in luck? You can play around with the textures, you can play around with the shadows on the inside and the outside of the walls, and then you have yourself an entry-level cavern. Hope that helps. If you have any ideas for future videos or something you'd like to see, shoot me a comment down below. And as always, have a good day.